I think Teacher Emma, we can begin. Other colleagues can find us.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good afternoon once again, members. And I am Teacher Emmanuel Kakuba. I do teach general paper A level, that is senior 5 and senior 6. And I work with the Yaaka DN, as you can see on my screen. Please get more information and do support and do enjoy a full package of the services that we do provide. As you're all aware that the current circumstances, internet and the digital teaching is taking over. Okay, so for members, am I being heard?
Yes, please, you can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you, Alvin.
Yes, sir.
So this is our guiding question. Before we go into the content or what we are supposed to study today, please do write down this question on my screen. Saddam, could you read the question on my screen? Saddam, please. Okay. Emma Mati, could you read the question on my screen?
To what extent have technological developments enhanced learning in today's world?
Thank you. So this is our guiding question. Please, I request all the members to write it down, because whatever we study will be referring to this question, and every example that we'll be giving will be referring to this particular question. Please, I'm giving you 1 minute to 30 seconds to write it down so that I go into the content. Alvin, do you have this question?
Yes, please, I'll just read it.
Okay, I think we are done. So for GP, you're all aware that it is a compulsory paper, and for one to access higher institutions of learning to go for maybe a degree or diploma, ought to have got a point in GP. So it is a subsidiary. So for that note, I will talk about the tips, how to go about an essay, particularly an essay question in GP. So I outlined down several tips to follow on each part. Remember, an essay question and an essay question has got parts, the way you handle it, from the introduction to the body to the conclusion. Even the body itself has got some conditions, terms and conditions that you should follow while handling it. So the first step in handling an essay question is planning. Planning is very vital. So I'm suggesting I get someone to read on my screen, a volunteer to read what tip 1 says, so that I go on explaining the rest.
Planning is very critical to write a good essay because it gives a clear direction and prevents excessive cancellation. A lot of students only spend less than 5 minutes on planning and rush into writing. It's actually recommended for you to take the time to plan 15 to 20 minutes and be very certain what your arguments are before you begin writing. This clarity will make your essay much more coherent.
Thank you. So planning here, it is suggested that you take 15 to 20 minutes trying to plan for what you want to write. If you remember, our question is technology developments towards learning. So to plan for that question, in planning, it involves outlining. So you first list down the number of points you want. You first provide a sketch of your introduction, and you also give a sketch of your conclusion at the back of the answer sheet. So after that, that's when you go into the next. And the next is the scope. So after Cyprian. Hello, Arthur?
Yes.
Yes, could you read on my screen?
Keep in mind the scope of the topic and ensure that your examples come from a wide range to address this scope. When you mentally put all your examples together, they should answer a match to the question. For example, if the question looks at tech, you should ensure you have examples pertaining different kinds of tech. You shouldn't only talk about transport or medical. You can look at agriculture, communications, environmental, and many more. The point is to cover enough ground and give breadth to your writing.
Okay, thank you. So in this case, our question here is particular. It talks about technological advancement vis-a-vis learning. But in case technological advancement, let's say the question is, to what extent has technological advancement led to the development of your country? There, that's when you handle it this way. You handle it from the medical to education, to industrialization, to agriculture, and to research, and all the others. So in that case, your question should be, your essay should be vast, should not handle just a part of the question. In other words, your essay should handle the question as a whole. You shouldn't leave any question unanswered when attempting an essay question. There should not be questions that are raised when someone reads through your essay. Okay. Tip 3. Bonita. Bonita.
Yes.
Albert Hannington, please put your audio off. Nasali Jazira, put your audio off. Nasali Jazira. Bonita, could you read on my screen tip 3? Yes, Bonita. 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 I got the next person. Albert Hannington.
When we are stuck during our brainstorming points, we can write examples. We can think of examples.
Hannington, your network is very poor.
As
Hannington,
yes, sir.
your network is poor. Could you read, please?
When we are stuck during our brainstorming for points, we can rely on examples. We can think of examples that intuitively appear in our minds and use those as a starting point to derive the argument
For instance, the question looks at you in our lives. We can begin thinking about examples of music in our lives and consider how they add value to our lives, or the different functions that music could have for us. Thinking about specific songs could really help crystallize some of the points. That being said, be sure to focus on deriving the argument instead of simply making a graph. Example
driven. Okay. Thank you, Hannington. Now, brainstorming is when you state out what you ought to write. So you think of all the possible ways, all the possible examples that can help you boost a particular point. So for that note, the examples should be valid and straight and relevant to the point that you have stated. Let's go back to our question. Our question, was, to what extent have technological developments enhanced learning in today's world? Am I being heard, members?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to what extent have technological developments enhanced learning in our today's world? So I'm going now to start calling out your name, and we answer some questions. So let me start with Alvin Vangirana. So Alvin Vangirana, we are handling technological advancement and learning. So which are the examples that we could state in a technological advancement? In other words, we start with introduction. What is technological advancement? Alvin Vangirana. Alvin. Okay, I got the next person. Ariho Dixon.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, what is technological advancement?
These are the different the different inventions that have been made in the technological aspect.
Okay, so I go to Alvin. Alvin, the one of ALVYN. What is technological advancement?
I think technological advancement is where computers become better over time. Technology.
Okay, thank you. Emma Mati. When you finish talking, mute your audio. Yes, Emma Mati.
Yes, sir.
What is technological advancement? Pardon?
Master, I was begging for pardon.
I haven't heard anything.
Master, pardon on the question.
What is technological advancement?
Like these are the new comings of technology.
Okay, thank you. Christine K. What is technological advancement? Christine K. Okay, I hear Faith. Yes, Christine K.
I think technological advancement is the making
Christine. Faith? Faith?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
is
teacher.
technological advancement?
We can say these are improvements that the ICT world has gone through from the time they started up to now.
Okay, thank you. Galaxy A3. Galaxy A3. Irene. Irene?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Give 3 examples that are under technological advancement. The 3 examples that have undergone technological advancement. Which examples can you give if you are defining technological advancement? Which examples do you accompany with the definition of technological advancement?
Talking about the technological advance first, I think it is the modern way of having maybe developed ideas, methods, or some other things, or regarding the ICT world. And
Okay.
an example I can use is like now we know this method we are using, social networks, online studies wasn't there before, and as of now we can be able to use it. So I think that can match.
Okay, thank you. Any other person? Is your Irene, is your network okay? Yes, Irene. Ishanga Al Mahad.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Examples of gadgets that fall under technological advancement.
Examples, phones, mobile phones,
Yes.
laptops,
Yes.
and computers.
Okay. Okay. Natua Bonita. Natua Bonita. Joan Grace. Hello, Joan Grace. Joan Grace. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are talking about a computer, we are talking about a phone, we are talking about a projector, we are talking about a camera. Now, I wish to ask you a question. How has technological advancement in phones helped in learning?
See that previously, maybe the previous phones we are using, such as the button phones.
Okay.
If we are still using those, we could not be able to attend Zoom meetings like this, but since we're now the technology advanced to smartphones, so that makes it possible for us to attend.
Okay, thank you. A very good point. So, you know, those old phones with buttons, but currently you are holding, most of you, I'm sure, out of the 26, 25 participants, you may find around 15. You may find Grace, please mute, Grace.
We have put it off, hurry up.
Out of 25 participants, you find We have 15 who are on smartphones. So in that case, technological advancement in phones has aided learning in a way that you will not need to particularly be in a physical classroom to attend to a lesson, but rather you can use your smartphone and attend to any lesson anywhere that you wish. So we have tip 4, which is introduction. So in introduction, I'm going to I'm going to call upon Estelita to read on my screen, please. Estelita. Estelita. Okay, I will read. So in introduction, when it comes to writing the hook in your intro, ensure that it has 2 traits. The first trait is it's interesting or unique. It can be a quote, a question, some kind of commentary, or even an example. 2, it's relevant to the question. You have to consciously explain why the hook is significant for the given topic rather than assume your reader will automatically get it. Many students write the hook but do not go on to explain it. Be sure you explicitly highlight how it is relevant to the question. So, for example, we are handling technological advancement vis-a-vis learning. So the hook is like attaching or a canonical phrase or a quotation, or maybe it is an idiom, or it can be a proverb that is related to technological advancement vis-a-vis learning. So, for example, without technology, learning is not effective. So for that note, for learning to be effective, technology has to be inculcated in it. So that statement have stated is a hook that states that clearly indicates without technology, it means that technology is a bigger part towards effective learning. And you can really see that without technology, one does not necessarily effectively, he or she can learn, yes, but not effective to a point of someone who uses technology. For example, now you are here attending a lesson, and some of your friends who have button phones are at home seated. So it means for you are moving a step closer towards the final paper, and the rest of the people in the analog era are still lagging behind. So we go to the next, that is tip 5. I'm requesting Musoke Marvin to read. Musoke Marvin, please read. Musoke Marvin. Kwagala Emile. Kwagala Emile. Members, am I being heard?
Yes,
Yeah, we are
teacher.
hearing you, sir.
We're hearing.
Where?
Okay. Manuela. Hello, Manuela. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Jerry, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry, please read on my screen.
It says a thesis statement has 2 functions. Firstly, it expresses your stand. Secondly, it provides a reason for this stand. The reason, of course, comprises your arguments since they support your stand. But the way you express these arguments has some variation. You may either choose to list your arguments, or you can condense them into a single compelling idea. The latter is harder to do, but shows more critical thinking and gives a degree of personal voice.
Okay, thank you. Well done. I go back to Irene. Irene.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Irene. Now, Irene, this is your question. Remember, we have handled the introduction, and here we're dealing with the thesis. And in the thesis, they tell you it states your stand as a discussant or as an essay writer. That what stand are you taking? So our question, remember, what is our question? The question is technological advancement vis-a-vis learning.
Sorry.
Okay. Should I repeat? Okay. I go to I think Irene has gone off. Caps.
I didn't hear you.
You don't hear well.
So well.
Irene, your network is poor. I go with Cabs. Cabs. Hello, Cabs.
Yes.
Yes, Cabs. Now, the question is, we are dealing with technological advancement vis-a-vis learning. So for that note, I'm asking, what is your stand there? How can you state your stand? How can you state your thesis on education, technological advancement vis-a-vis learning? Cabs? I think Cabs has gone off. Remember, after doing your introduction, you have introduced the technological advancement, you have introduced the examples of technology or gadgets that use technology, and you have introduced learning. So in that case, you should state your thesis statement, or you should state where do you belong? What is your stand? For example, when we look at this question, to what extent? So your stand is it to a larger extent, or has technological developments really enhanced learning in today's world, or it hasn't? So in that thesis statement, they say you can either outline some of the reasons, or some of the reasons why you think technological advancement has enhanced learning, or you should also state some of the reasons as to why you think technological advancement has not enhanced learning. So for that note, it depends on which side you choose. If it has enhanced, if you are proposing, if you go with the statement, so you should give an example. Let's say it is skills impacting, it is time saving, it is not place bound, a physical place bound, it contains a lot of information, it enhances research, it enhances critical thinking, it provides enough room for research. So those ones you can state 2 or 3, or the other way you can state that is by giving a general outlook. You can say it is truly evident that technological advancement has fully enhanced learning in today's world due to the fact that it is very clear, and some of the reasons as to why it is said so are stated, as I will discuss as here below. So there you go to the first. So the thesis statement is like your stand. What do you stand? Remember up you have dealt with the hook. The hook, and in the introduction you have introduced every terminology. And remember, you shouldn't use, let's say, technological advancement. In the introduction to definition of technological advancement, there should not be technology, and there should not be advancement. You can't use a term to define a term. I go to the next. The next is the topic or the sentence point. So here I'm requesting a volunteer to read on my screen. Please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
This is Faith. Before we go to the next one, the previous slide
Yes.
about the thesis statement. Can I have two stands at the same time? Assuming in the other part I'm having less points, and in the other part I'm having an idea as well, and I want to put them together so that I have so many points as one. So can I put the thesis statement in two sides? I feel like it is truly evident. It has enhanced learning. At the same time, the other part, it has not done so well for other people. Can I be two-minded at the same time?
Okay. Thank you, Faith. Is there anyone who can answer that question? Is there anyone, a volunteer to answer that question? Christine K, can you answer that? Bonita? Okay. Okay. So Faith, you cannot have two contradicting statements in one thesis statement. What you do is you put the thesis statement in this. Please mute your audio. Someone using ITEL S16 plus, please mute your audio. So you can't put two contradicting statements in one thesis statement. So the thesis statement only puts your clears or states your stand. So in other words, you can't have one leg on land and another one in water. So you must have one stand. Even if you recognize the other, you should first deal with one stand where you belong, your stronghold. So if you are agreeing with technological advancement, enhancing learning, state that you can put then 5 to 6 points or 7, whichever points, the number of points you have. Then you have what we call the literature roundabout. So after the 6 points of proposing or opposing, the 6 points that support your thesis stand, you go to the literature roundabout, where you say, even though it is stated that technological advancement has led to has enhanced learning in today's world, it should not be underlooked that has come with some shortcomings, and some of these shortcomings have been discussed below. So in that case, part A, that let's deal with someone who proposes, who agrees that technological advancement has enhanced learning. So part A, if you have 6 points, part B cannot have more than 4, or the points in part B cannot surpass the points in part A. In other words, where you have a stand should have more points than where you do not have a stand. Are we following?
Yes, teacher, I'm getting.
Yes. Someone with the iPhone. Okay. So don't be tempted to put two opposing statements in one thesis. Just put your stand in the first thesis, then you state the points why you think so, and then you get to the roundabout, the however part, and the however part it is clear that should have lesser points to the stand that you have. Of course, you can't be an NRM fan and you say, and I support NRM and FDC, yet those two oppose each other. So if you say, I support NRM, you state the points why you support NRM. You say, however, NRM has got some shortcomings. So the shortcomings of NRM cannot surpass the advantages of NRM. Are we together there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So I got the next, I will read. In the topic sentence or the point, a topic sentence is not merely one single sentence. It should be 2 to 3 sentences because it gives an idea of what argument is being made in the rest of the paragraphs. It has to provide a clear overview of the paragraph's direction and unpack some ideas that you have introduced in the very first sentence of the paragraph. So here we're dealing with the point. Which point? So the opening statement of every paragraph should contain a point and clearly stated that it can be seen by either an examiner or someone who reads that essay. So I'm requesting Shami. Shami. Hello, Shami. Hello, Shami. I think Shami is not on. Ario Dixon. Dixon.
Yes, sir.
Could you give me one point that support technological advancement towards enhancing learning?
Technological advancements have improved learning by bringing education closer to the people, to the children.
Education closer to the students.
Yes.
Okay. I'm requesting
Yes, teacher.
Yes, I got you. Thank you. So I'm looking for Kirung Humphrey.
Yes, sir.
Kirung Humphrey. Maybe he's not on. ITEL S16 plus. Someone with ITEL S16 plus. Not on. Hisense U962. Galaxy S3.
Through innovation of online classes.
Could you pardon, please?
Through innovation of online classes.
Yes, through innovation of online classes. So technological advancement has enhanced learning through enhancement or through improvement of online learning or online teaching and learning. So that statement, that topic sentence, it clears, states the point that you wish to talk about, and it talks about what, like, where does that point come from? It comes from technological advancement vis-a-vis learning. And what is the point? It is online learning. You get that? Okay, I've got less time, so I'll read through this. Arguments plus elaboration. So good arguments have a logical flow to them, where one idea builds on another. This logical flow needs to be carefully constructed. Many students just write what comes to mind without much thought on how it adds to the central argument of the paragraph. And it starts to feel random and incoherent. The most effective way is to plan out this logical flow before you even begin writing. For each body paragraph, think about this. What is the logic of my argument? In other words, your paragraph should be as a whole, should be read as a whole. So your paragraph should only and only communicate one point. Not having 2, 3, 4, 5 points in one paragraph. No, at least let one paragraph clearly states a point. So in that case, a paragraph should have a point clearly stated. Secondly, it should have that point fully explained. Thirdly, it should have examples on that point fully given. And finally, it should relate to the essay question that is given. You understand? Are we together, members?
Yes,
Yes, teacher, I understand.
Okay, please. So I go to examples. How do you give an example in your paragraph, in your points? Tip 8, when it comes to writing examples, the key is to show the significance of your examples. You can think of it as what is the larger argument made by this example. This is the critical difference between writing a descriptive example and one that is argumentative. Descriptive examples simply provide facts that can be interpreted in any way, but argumentative examples would explain why these facts matter and how they link to the question. So, for example, we have online learning. So, online learning, as our point, and we assume it has been explained. So, how do you give an example to an online learning? I'm going to choose Christine. No, Brian Wagwire. Hello, Brian Wagwire. Not on. Caps. Caps. Zinefio Caps. Albert Hannington.
Yes, sir.
How do you give an example to online learning?
So I'll give an example of Zoom, where the teacher gets to interact with the students when they're in different places, at different locations, but can get to interact through technology.
Okay, thank you. So an example in online learning, you state, you give platforms that support online learning. Let us say Zoom. We can also use WhatsApp. We can use Facebook. We can use Expertise. We can use Educare, like one of our apps, and we can use Google Meetings. So these ones enhance online learning, where the student and the teachers do not have to necessarily be in the same place, but rather have internet and technology, and therefore technological advancement would have enhanced learning in this aspect. Did everyone hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I go to 8, to 9 rather. As in 9, it is the links. Having a strong link in your paragraph means that you point back to what the question is asking. Many students often forget to do this. An explicit link can go along. An explicit link, pardon me, please. Okay. An explicit link can go a long way to enhancing the clarity of your writing, especially when you directly address terms in the question. Always check to see whether you have made the link. In other words, at every end of your paragraph, there should be a link between that point and the question, or the question that you are answering. Like what I gave in my example. It is like Zoom, Google Meeting, Expertise, Educare have enhanced as forms or as modes of technological advancement has enhanced learning. Therefore, technological advancement has contributed strongly towards learning in the world today. So there are some phrases, there are some questions, some words that we use to show this link. That is thus, and we have therefore, we have hence, and we have for that note. So when every paragraph of yours should have at least these words. These words help you to link the point to the question that you are, to the statement or to the question that you are answering. So at least every point of view should end with that. Are we together? I go to the next.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, sir, you can proceed. There's no problem.
I go to the next.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
Okay, guys, thanks for attending. I think the class has ended. We are entering into another class for those who saw the general timetable. So we are ending the meeting now. Good day.